Hello, good morning. I hope that you're all well and that you've had a good week. The week has been very busy here. It's been a very productive week, but it's also been a week of peace. We've had no builders this week and we've got no builders in the forthcoming week. They come back in September. It's been so nice not having any noise and dust. It's just been wonderful. And because of that, I've managed to achieve a lot. I've got lots of things to talk about today, but before I start, I have to say a huge thank you on behalf of Janine of Acorns and Threads and myself to everybody who has pre-ordered Emiline Purnell. She's such a beautiful sampler, absolutely gorgeous. Now there is a stitch along that's going to be held for Emiline, and if you follow Janine's Facebook page for Acorns and Threads, Janine will post further details of the stitch along in that group. Now for those of you who are pre-ordering the full kit for Emiline, you will receive a gift, and this gift is only whilst pre-orders are being taken. After that, the gift will be available but for purchase, and the gift is a fabric panel of Emiline. Now unfortunately I haven't got one to show you. I sent all of the fabric panels to Janine, but what I can do is show you how you can use those fabric panels. Now a friend of mine made me this beautiful little sewing bag, and she inserted a panel for Harriet Salt in there. This actually looks as if it was stitched. We've used the panels in project bags. Got some project bags here to show you. This one is of Sarah Milthorpe, and this one is of Mrs. Campbell. You can do so much with these fabric panels, and it's lovely to have a project bag with the sampler on the front. And the fabric panels that Janine has, you will be able to do that with. I've actually been making some little pin cushions this week. I can't show you the front because this is a gift for somebody and I don't want to spoil it. But with this particular pin cushion, the entire front of it is a sampler. You can do so much with these fabric panels. Now, something that I have done this week is I have printed on velvet fabric panels to go into my memory box. This is the multiplication table sampler, Multiply Kindness, and this is the original sampler. I've reduced the size of the printed fabric so that it's specifically fitted inside the memory box. Love this sampler so much. Everybody who comes to my home cannot believe that this is a modern day sampler until they see the year on it. This fabric from Seraphim is just so beautifully aged that it does make your sampler look like an original. So that was the velvet fabric panel for Multiply Kindness, which is lining this memory box. What I'm going to do is I'm filling this memory box with gifts that I have been given by other needleworkers, because Multiply Kindness, that theme goes so well with gifts when people have had kindness of heart to make something for you. These memory boxes are available on Amazon US, and I will insert a photograph of the page on Amazon with details of these memory boxes. They're so pretty. They come in various different colours, but this one, it just looks so antique. It's really beautiful. The other memory, that's the medium size. There's small, medium and large. the small one, I put in Memories of the Past. There it is, upside down. Let's put it the right way. So that's the little fabric panel that I had printed on velvet for the small box. I thought memories was a great theme for a keepsake, put my teeth in, keepsake box. So I'm really, really pleased with that. I like to frame my samplers. I like to look at them on the wall. So I don't want to stitch a sampler twice. So a fabric panel of the actual design is a good way of being able to create smalls or lining boxes without having to stitch the sampler again. And of course you can play with the size when you print fabric as well. So I'm very pleased with how that has come out. In the week ahead, I intend to fix the fabric to the bottom of the memory box and start building them. So going back to Emiline, if you pre-order the kit, you will receive a fabric panel of the design which you could put into a project bag, make a pin cushion. You can do all sorts of things. You're only limited by your own imagination and creativity. Okay, so oh, the other thing is with the fabric panels, this quilt is a classic example. Kathy made this for me and it is just so precious to me. And Kathy has inserted into the panel various different, into the quilt, various different panels taken from Hands Across the Sea Samplers portfolio. Okay, so what else have I got to show you? Well, the title of this video was Do You Use Protection? And yes, I do use protection. I protect my scissor tips. And when you're putting scissors into containers to hold them, I always worry about the tips. The tips of your scissors are so important. And my friend Lisa, she sent me some little tips to protect my scissors. Whoops. There's not much room here today. There's so much to show you. So these little tips, they are, I'm going to say plastic, but it's not plastic because it's soft. Maybe they're silicone. I'm not quite sure exactly what they're made of, but they're soft and bendy. And you can just pop them on the end of your scissors, and then the tips of your scissors are protected when you put them into your stand. They're very, very inexpensive. Just for a few pounds you can get like 50, 100 of them, many more than you actually have scissors to put them on. They come in different colours. I ordered the red ones because they're visible. The see-through ones, it's very easy to sort of misplace them. I have put these on all my scissors to protect them in their stands. I have also put them on my scissors that I have in use. Now when I'm using my scissors, I don't constantly put this on and off, but at the end of a stitching session I put them back on. Then I know when they're in my pouch, my project bag or my needlework case, those tips are not going to damage another item in the pouch, project bag or case. Very, very useful. Thank you, Lisa, for sharing this with me. Simple but invaluable. My case, which I showed you last week, I did go with the blue one, and this is how I have filled it. I've got some special little custom needle packets there that I've made. I've got a selection of pins because I like to use my pins for unpicking, and the one I'm using is the little frog from Minnie McBean's. That seems very apt for frogging. I've got some needle minders on my case just to make it look pretty. The other thing that I have in here is a little tape measure. That's invaluable for setting up. And then in the bottom of my case, I have my glasses, my little notepad. I have my little eraser for removing fluff. If I unpick, I use this little tip, rubberized tip, and it's white, just to grab the fluff off my work. Simple, but again, that's invaluable. When I finish using it, I just pop that back down because I want to keep that tip clean. I don't want that getting dirty. Then when I use it on my fabric, it marks my fabric. The other thing I have for frogging is this little magnifier which has an LED light on and tweezers, and that way I can pull things from my work. Because I have dogs, like my boxers, they don't molt a lot, but it's surprising how every now and again you notice a dog hair on your work, and if it's trapped under a stitch, I can remove it with these tweezers and using the magnifier. Very handy. The other thing I have in my case, and this was a gift from a friend, is this tool. So I have a seam ripper on the one end, and on this end I have an awl. Very, very handy. I don't really do that much frogging, but you know, it's inevitable on a project. You're going to have to unpick a few stitches here and there, or sometimes a lot, so those are very handy. I also have in my case this little magnetized stick. Because of the boys, I don't want them swallowing a needle or stepping on a needle, and I'm very careful about the number of needles I use. I know how many needles I have in use at any one time, and if I drop one, I can use this over the floor to pick that needle up. Because I predominantly stitch at night and we don't have the overhead light on, it can be quite difficult sometimes to look on the floor to see a needle, but that's invaluable. So those are the tools that I have in my case, and they all sit so neatly in the bottom. And I've got my little work tray there. I love these Winterbury cases. They're so usable, and they're so pretty as well. Love that. Oh, the other thing I've got my little needle threader as well. That was a gift from a friend. In fact, do you know what? Everything in this case, with the exception of the scissors, my thread, and my needle packets, were gifts from stitchers. Stitchers are such wonderful friends. Look at that, isn't that pretty? That was a gift from 2022, a little thread winder customised with my name. Beautiful. Okay, so what else have I got to show you? I had a lot of work come back from the framers this week, and this is Caroline Page. Now, Boomer stitched the model for Caroline Page, but my friend Linda stitched this for me to go in my red room. Isn't that lovely? Linda's such a kind-hearted person and a very good friend, and she gets a lot of pleasure about seeing her samplers on my walls. Very kind of her. So that's Caroline Page, a Norfolk sampler. We released this one several years ago now, but it's a beauty, and I'm really pleased with this frame. It's a very heavy frame, actually, surprisingly heavy for a simple frame, but it's just very, very elegant. It showcases the sampler, it doesn't overpower it. Okay, so my work in progress. Now, I haven't sat down to stitch much this week because I've been in my craft room. It's all been put back together now, and I've taken everything to do with Hands Across the Sea samplers out of it. Every box of chart supplies, everything has gone into a conference room that we have in our garden. And I've got my craft room back, so I've been busy on my sewing machine doing various things. So I've only had really about 3 stitching sessions, and my needle has gone so fast on this sampler. Here it is. Isn't that darling? It's a Mexican sampler, so we've got the cockerel. I'm building this motif up now. That's where I stopped last night. I couldn't resist working my way down to the bottom and getting the blue into this sampler. Really, really pleased with that. This is being stitched with 2 colours, and the colours are, this is Soie 103, 755 and 493. Those 2 colours, they go together so beautifully. I will need more than this to finish, and I do have another spool. What else can I tell you about this? Not a lot. I hope to have this finished. I think probably another 2, possibly 2.5 stitching sessions, and that will be done. I had intended, after filming this video, to take the boys out and then come back and sit and stitch for the rest of the day and the evening, but Ray told me this morning that we're going out late afternoon. We've got a party to attend, so I'm not going to be stitching today, but tomorrow I'm intending to have a really good stitching session on that. The postman came this week with another item for my collection of the Royal Dalton sampler pattern. This plate is in fabulous condition. It's over 100 years old, and there's not a chip or a crack on it. It's really lovely, and it was a bargain. These plates can sell for a lot of money, but this one was way below market price. So that's another plate from the sampler collection to add, or to put onto my dresser, my Welsh dresser in my breakfast room. Okay, do I have anything else to say? Probably, and I've forgotten. Okay, so I'm going to go and walk those boys, and then I might squeeze just an hour or so stitching before we have to go out. Thank you so much for listening to me, and if God is kind, I'll be back with another Flosstube next weekend, and until then, stay well, stay safe. Bye-bye.